Do you want to learn about some sweet tuner parts that you could take home for free?
Well, we've got news for you. We will be reviewing authentic performance parts and giving them away to one lucky enthusiast.
Check out our webinars live now on slipanglemedia.com. Gain some knowledge of these sweet tuner parts and have the opportunity to take them home for absolutely free with great odds. What is up, boys and girls? Today we are under my 2003 AP1 Honda S2000. And Matthew, what are we doing?
Doing some track prep.
Track prep. Those of you say, but Quinn, I thought you gave up on cars for motorcycles. Well, you would be wrong, my friends. You would be wrong. Yes, I love motorcycles and the art of doing dank nooners and ripping a 10-second crotch rocket down the road with near death imminent all the time, but cars are where my heart always has been and always will be from the get-go. So we are here doing an oil change. We want to talk about basic track prep for you guys at home who are thinking about doing your very first track day event. So Matthew, I'm winging this right now. We have no script here.
No. So what would you say is the most important thing?
Okay, well, a couple things. Before you put your car on track, I want you guys to understand the risk that's involved. Track day work is no joke, and you're putting your car in a high performance environment where the likelihood of something going wrong is much higher than when driving conservatively on the street. So if you have never done a track day before, I highly, highly, highly recommend understanding basic car control first. You can learn that in autocrosses. If you're local to us, we go to Lime Rock. They have their autocross access shootout on that kart track. It's a very safe venue. You can use that track to exploit the limits of your car safely. It has taught me a tremendous amount of car control, and it's been invaluable in my development as a driver. Now, with that said, you think you got the skills, and you want to get that taste of higher speed, near death, at the limit, racing with your buddies, playing around a little bit experience. Well, good for you, my kids. And I'm going to tell you all the basics for getting your car ready to do your very first track day. So number one, I always like to go out on a fresh oil change. I do this because you are going to be at a sustained high RPM if you are at a level where you can drive your car close to the limit. So you're going to be putting the most heat load and stress load on the motor in a performance driving situation like being on track. So I always go out with fresh oil first and foremost. Number two, if you're going to do track days continuously, it would be a good idea to invest in an oil cooler. Having an oil cooler and a proper radiator for heat management is very important. My S2000 does not have an oil cooler in it, but S2000s do have great oil heat management. The oil pan is finned, so you get cooling underneath it. It's aluminum, dissipates heat a little bit better. So there is that benefit of it, but it's going to be what, 60-something degrees tomorrow, 62?
Yeah, it's a perfect day tomorrow.
It's a perfect day for a track. We're only doing about an hour total on track for the half of the day. I've never actually put the S2000 out onto a big road course before. It's only been on Lime Rock's autocross venue where we did the slip angle episode on it. Check it out. It was a great episode. So I'm not really too worried about it. I don't plan on tracking this car regularly. I'm just kind of doing it for ha-has. We're meeting the owners of the track and maybe getting some negotiated ability to film there on occasion. So we'll see what happens. Fingers crossed. Matthew's nodding at me.
That would be awesome.
Another important thing is make sure your coolant's not too old. Coolant maintenances should be done about every 2 years or so. Flush it out and put fresh coolant in. Very, very important is brake pads, tires, and brake fluid.
Yes.
Old fluid, it breaks down. And what you do not want, and one of the biggest incidences that happens on track, and it's the reason why I don't do track day instruction, is that if you boil brake fluid, it will come on unexpectedly and you will put that pedal and it'll go right down to the floor and you will get nothing on your brakes. And that is a terrifying experience when you're coming down a straightaway at full bore. So having a high performance brake fluid, I'm using, this is ATE Type 200. It's a DOT4, but the key here is that this has higher temperature management on it. Motul makes great brake fluid, but just make sure whatever you do, it's a proper racing brake fluid. Secondly, brake pads. You don't want to get brake fade. Advanced Auto Parts or AutoZone, Pep Boys brake pads are not going to cut it. Invest in a decent Hawk compound, at least an HP Plus. Don't even bother with HPS, they're a joke. Carbotex are great dual purpose pads. I ran XP8s for a long time on my NB Miata for track duties. If the car is heavier, you probably want to go with a little bit more aggressive compound, but anything that's like under 3,000 pounds, the Hawk HP Plus should be more than sufficient. If you're new to track day driving, you're not going to be braking at the absolute limit or really like working the brakes as hard as you probably could be, which, side note, if you want to become a faster driver, learn how to brake. Learn how to trail brake deep into corners, because there is tremendous time if you can get braking down at a master level. So anyways, proper brake pads are critical, and then last but not least, a good tire compound. Something that can, one, manage the heat, and two, provide sufficient enough grip. Now with that said, you don't need our compounds, you don't need Hoosiers for your track day. Any of the 200 treadwear, 200 to 300 treadwear class tires are usually more than sufficient for those sort of duties, especially if you're a newer driver. You're not going to be pushing the car at the absolute limit anyways, where those little tenths of a second count or matter the most. So just a decent tire compound, and having good heat management is most important. Last but not least, check your tire pressures.
Before and after you go on track.
Before and after you go on track, because when you go on track and get heat in those tires, they're probably going to gain a good 5-6 psi from where they're set cold. Usually I'll start somewhere around 32 psi depending on the tire, but I end up dropping it down from there after the first session. So I'm going out on Continental. These are 300 treadwear. I don't know what these are.
These Extreme Contact?
Extreme Contact. I'm sorry, my phone's going off. Extreme Contact. These are not winning any races. Let's put that out there. But I chose these for the street because they're a decent balance of grip and slip. It allows me to be playful with the car, hooning around a little bit, but it has adequate grip. And if I have to like kick Matthew's ass on the tailgate or something. They're a good compound. They're not going to do great on track though. They're going to get hot and greasy probably within 3 laps is my guesstimate. But I'm going to set these probably 30 psi cold pressure to go out. The sidewalls aren't as stiff as like some of the more high performance tires, so I'm probably not going to go much below that. I anticipate coming off track and having them be around 34, 35 hot, and they'll probably be a little bit greasy, but whatever. It should be okay. The more aggressive, stiffer sidewall tires, you can usually go down to like as low as like 26 psi and coming in with them around 30 hot. I think that's, most tires like to work in that temperature range. Obviously every tire is going to be a little bit different. Sorry, I didn't mute my phone.
Millennial.
Never stops, man. But yeah, Matthew, did I miss anything? I really just tried to cite this all off.
No, that was good. I mean, I think one more thing I wanted to mention was going back to the brake fluid.
Yes.
Even with the good brake fluid, what does brake fluid absorb? Over time.
Moisture.
Moisture.
Well, it breaks down.
Yeah.
It breaks down. You can boil racing brake fluid if it's old. So depending on how many track days you're doing, you probably want to change brake fluid once a season.
Yep, that's what they say, once a season.
Yep. Oh, look at that.
Yep.
And I'm just citing that from my own experience.
Yep.
But yeah, I think we got most of the fundamentals down. Have a decent helmet. I like to use driving gloves because I don't want to get sweat all over my suede steering wheels and turn them into leather. But that's all Ricer nonsense. You don't need any of that. And seat time, seat time, seat time. Oh, and last thing is don't let your ego get the best of you. And don't drive above what your limits are. Because that's how you have a bad, messed up day. And we should add this, almost every track day or race event that I've been to, at least one car gets towed off of that track because it crashed. So
yeah, Saturday when I was at New York Safety Track, brand new well, not brand new obviously, but like a newish 370Z right into a tree head on.
Yep.
Like
it happens.
Yep.
And you know, track driving is a lot of fun, but man, it's very high risk, and that's why you don't see me eager to go throw my FD RX-7 out on track, because I don't know about you guys, but that's a fast car, and it's an expensive car, and it's a rare car now, and I really do not want to have an incident happen to that. So even the S2000, I'm not going to be going full ham. I'm going to go out there, I'm going to have fun. I'm going to maybe battle with Matthew a little bit, and our friend Sandor from Modified Machines with his Z46 M3, but to me, it's just about having fun. There's no trophies here. There's no competition. If you wanna do that stuff, you get a dedicated race car, which is gonna get damaged. My Spec Miata got bumped almost every single race because people are just maniacs out there. Not me. I'm a clean racer. But you know, unless you're going for the world championship, just remember to have fun, because that's what it is at the end of the day. And keep
Stay within your limits.
Stay within your limits. Keep your car in one piece, and keep your head in one piece too. So.
Yeah.
That's it.
That was great.
Guys, thank you so much for watching this. We hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them below. Matthew and I will do our best to answer you all. If you like this content, give us a like and a subscribe. If you think it sucks, well, let us know that also, because we want to hear your feedback. And check out our webinars on slipanglemedia.com, where we give away tuner parts at very reasonable odds. You buy a seat in the webinar, we review it, you get to hang out with the boys and I while we do a live review, and then we give it away for free at the end to one member of the audience. You don't have to be present during the live to be eligible, but we limit the seating to a very low number, so you have great chances of winning that item. And this helps support the channel without us asking for donations or Patreon from you guys, and it gives us a way to give back to you also for being our supporters and our viewers. So thank you all very much, and we hope to see you guys in the next one. Done.
It's almost like you've done that speech before.
Oh my gosh.